Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. Well, Liverpool made that look a bit easy, I'll say not very easy, but nevertheless a solid win against a very informed side, Bournemouth, as Liverpool won 2-0 at the Fortress that they call Vitality Stadium. So during the show, I'll do a quick match review discussing the key moments. Then I'll present my player ratings and read out the comments at the end. It's also a calling show, so if you'd like to come on and have your say, the floor is yours. I have pinned a link in the live chat for you to join the stream. So let's begin with our match review. In terms of the first half, Bournemouth wasted no time in the opening seconds as Semenyo has a shot very early on, cuts inside from the left, has a low shot, but Allison makes the important save. Then Clivert with a left-footed shot from close range. His shot was parried away for a corner kick. Then Bournemouth almost brought the deadlock through another chance from Semenyo, who hits a left-footed shot and rattles the inside of the post, very close there from the guy in winger. And then Liverpool finally get the goal, and it was a Mohamed Salah penalty, and he steps up and finishes in clinical fashion. Liverpool did then produce some moments in terms of a counter attack. It was started through Gakpo. He feds the ball to Szoboszlai, who has a shot from inside the box, saved by the keeper. But for me, I think Szoboszlai should have done better there. He had the pretty much the whole goal to aim at, and I feel like in that moment he should have hit it hard and low into the corner. But unfortunately, that was not what occurred. Salah then has a moment where he crosses with the outside of his foot towards the central position of the box. Trent comes flying in with a header, but unfortunately, no power in that execution, straight at the goalkeeper's arms. Szoboszlai then also has a shot inside the box, which goes high and above the bar. Gravenberch is through on goal from a Trent Alexander-Arnold. He cuts in and has a left-footed shot, and same outcome, it goes above the bar. So that is the key moments of the first half. Now, in terms of the second, Bournemouth started the second half just like they did in the first half, and that was on the front foot. Clivert has a header which goes over the bar. Otara and Clivert got involved, not involved, I should say, probably blocked each other's path, so no one could apply a clean sort of header on goal. Had it been where no player was obstructing them, then it could have been a dangerous moment for Liverpool. Semenyo then has a great opportunity as he's through on goal, applies a finish, but Alisson produces a great block to deny the attacker. Liverpool then produce a couple of chances with McAllister and Mohamed Salah having shots towards goal, but unfortunately both missing the target. But the next move was a defining moment of the game, as if this goal had gone in, it would, for me, could have changed the outcome of the game. Tavernier hits a lethal shot from the outside of the box, smashes the inside of the post, and then it finds itself loosely in the 6-yard box. Cliver is the first to respond and get onto the ball. Pretty much has the whole goal to aim at, and he's expected to hit a routine shot into the back of the net, but somehow as he shoots towards goal, it goes high and wide, and one awful execution it was from the informed player. Should have buried there all day long. With that golden opportunity fading away for Bournemouth, Liverpool capitalised, and what a goal it was from the Egyptian King. He's one-on-one with Kirkes on the edge of the box. He positions himself nice and calmly and hits a shot with real finesse, no backlift, and hits the top bins. Fantastic strike from Mohamed Salah. For me, that was a worldie of a finish. Overall, a great win for the Reds. It was always going to be a tricky game with an opponent that had been scoring goals for fun in recent weeks. But Liverpool, for me, stepped up and showed their true colours. That was a performance, in my eyes, of real champions right there. We didn't play outstanding, but we showed enough quality to get over the line and did enough in the end to grab all 3 points. So that is my match review. So let's move on and do the player ratings. Here we go. So we'll start with Allison in goal. For me, Allison definitely was involved in this game, produced a number of chances in the first half, he was pretty much involved straight from the first minute. When Semenyo had a shot on goal, um, then Semenyo, to be fair, it was Semenyo and Clive that I felt like were really on top of the game in this fixture. Then you had Semenyo one-on-one in the second half. Allison producing a block. Clive had a shot where he had to, go low and hurry away from passing the goal line there. So Alisson was busy. He kept us in the game for me on numerous occasions. So a very, very solid game from the Brazilian keeper. If anyone doubted his quality, I hope that reaffirms, his ability as, our number one as a top goalkeeper as well. So for me, in terms of his player rating, I'm going to go for an 8.5. I thought he had a very good performance in this game. Trent, unfortunately, not the best of outings for him. He didn't complete the game, firstly, because he picked up an injury very early on in the second half. In terms of an update, I'm not sure how severe that injury is. Hopefully, we'll get some news in the coming days, and hopefully, it's just a knock rather than it being a lengthy injury in the sidelines. But in terms of his game, produced some decent passes. He produced that pass I mentioned earlier on that led to a counter attack, but generally, very average. Defensively wasn't, amazing. We were attacked on that side quite a lot, especially with Kerkez being a flamboyant fullback, attacking a byline. You got Semenyo being around that area, but also kind of inside. So, he was kept busy, and even Kanate had to cover him on numerous occasions. So for me, an average performance. Obviously, he couldn't complete the game. Otherwise, his score would have been a little bit higher. So for this fixture, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Kanate for me had a decent game, not his best game to say the least. I think that probably led to, with Kirkes and Semenyo attacking us very aggressively on that side of the pitch. Konate was, you know, on his toes where he had to cover ground for Trent if he was a bit more further up. And then there's moments where, from a ball playing ability, there were times when Konate has the ball, passing wasn't the best. He also tried to carry the ball and didn't make the right decisions in terms of releasing it, or maybe one or two touch too many. So decent enough game. I think as a collective, not even just as a pair, as a defensive unit, we did enough to avoid conceding any goals. So still a decent performance, but with Konate, he set high standards, so I expect a little bit better. So in this game, I'll give him 7.5 out of 10. Still a relatively good score, but not, a peak performance from Ubu there. Virgil van Dijk for me had a decent game. He showed some areas where it was a little bit vulnerable. He got, dribbled past a couple of times. I think it was Semenyo on one or two occasions as well. Otaro, actually no, sorry, it was Otaro. Otaro playing as a striker, but predominantly, you know, occupying that right side of the pitch, attacking the channels, and he certainly, presented a threat to Van Dijk. And there was times where I think Van Dijk misread the ball in the air, and it led to the attacker nicking the ball off him. So yeah, not. I'm nitpicking here. So in terms of moments where I feel like we always expect Van Dijk to be so dominant, showed a bit of vulnerability where he was probably not on top of his game in some moments, but nevertheless, for me, still a decent performance. Kept it neat and tidy and made sure that the back line was, formed as a unit rather than, playing people on side, because they had very attack-minded fullbacks, and well, I would say fullbacks, probably one fullback. It was Kirkes. Cook wasn't really attacking the byline that much. But then you had the likes of Semenyo on that side, and Brooks, very technical player. So we had to make sure that we didn't let these attackers get on the end of anything. So for me, in terms of his performance today, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Robinson for me probably had one of his better games. To be fair, I thought it was really solid. I'm not sure it's because we were up against Bournemouth and the player on their side. Kirkhead is a player that's been linked with the club very heavily in recent months. But forget put that to one side, forget that for a moment. I think Robertson played really well. He looked a little bit more calmer and composed on the ball. His distribution was very good in terms of his passing. Didn't really give the ball away. Attacks when required, but he wasn't as aggressive, which probably suited us in that game because there were times where they were having Otara attacking that channel, and then you've got Brooks cutting inside at times. So they were very busy in terms of the wide area. So for me, Robertson put in a good shift. Very impressed with him. Very solid performance. So in terms of his rating, I'm actually gonna give him an 8 out of 10. I think it wasn't that far off Van Dijk's performance. I thought they were equally good. So that's the ratings of for our defense. Now in terms of the double pivot, McAllister didn't have the best of games to be fair. As soon as he picked up that yellow card, which for me was definitely not yellow, but in that situation, he certainly appeared to be rattled by the opposition. I think it was Christie that annoyed him a couple of occasions, and he just seemed to have lost his cool. He couldn't keep calm, couldn't keep composed in challenges, and it just affected his game, and it led to Armstrong taking him off and bringing on Curtis Jones. So no, not the best of performances in this game. So for me, in terms of his rating, I'll give him a solid rating of 7. But that's something he needs to work on. The opposition is always going to try and rattle, try and get you off your natural game. And when you're playing in a double pivot, you've got to be a bit more robust. You've got to show a bit of a strong mentality in those moments there. So for me, a learning curve will be to ignore what's happening on the pitch and just focus on your game and focus on the team. But I think emotions got to him, and yeah, he was not able to control himself, and it could have led to another second card, yellow card, which we were quite lucky that he wasn't given. He did produce a foul where maybe if he hadn't had the yellow card, he would have been given initial yellow card. So yeah, maybe we were lucky in that moment. So sometimes may disagree, but that's what I think in terms of that moment. Gravenberch, who actually picked up a very early yellow card, wasn't rattled, wasn't affected by that. He still played his natural game. Obviously, the highlight of the fixture was him doing a 360 turn on 3 players. A beautiful piece of skill there, but he was very, very good. For pretty much our engine in this team, you know, box to box, made crucial challenges when required. So I was very impressed with his overall game. So in terms of his rating, I'm gonna have to give him an 8 out of 10. Um, Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna bump that up a little bit. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I was very impressed with going back in this fixture. So Bosley had a decent game. He had moments where he had shots on goal, wasn't able to score. I think there was 1 or 2 times I feel like he should have converted. To be honest with you, Mm, didn't show the same energy levels that he has done in recent weeks. One thing that I found frustrating was his sort of first touch and even his second touch, where he'd control it and then just seemed to not really have the balance to make the next move. There was one moment where he fell to ground. I don't know how he did. I think he had his foot on top of the ball and he just dropped. So which was a tad bit embarrassing. But so no, I think it was a bit all over the place in this game. Wasn't balanced in his overall play. He was yeah just not on the same wavelength as the other players. So not his best performance in this fixture, but still was a posing threat to the opposition. Helped produce a number of counter attacks, and as I mentioned, earlier, has a few shots as well. So did a decent job, but not to his capabilities, in my opinion. So in terms of his rating, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 as well, same as McAllister. Mohamed Salah, of course, what a performance from him. Had a tricky opponent, Kirkes, who I thought defended well at times, but fair play to Salah. He definitely made sure he was direct in this game. He tried to attack him on numerous occasions, and I felt that was a good battle. It was a very good battle to watch. And I thought there were times when Salah did really well. I love that pass he did for Trent Alexander-Arnold, where hit with the outside of his foot. Trent went for the header, no power hit whatsoever. So that was unlucky there. But generally, good play from Salah. Obviously, he gets the headlines in terms of the outcome of the match, scoring the opening goal with penalty, and then you've got the goal, which was fantastic in my eyes. Typical Salah as well. I say typical because we've been blessed with watching so many of his goals over the years, and it's just a trademark finish where he gets the ball, just cuts slightly in with half a yard, and just finesses it into the top corner. Yeah, lovely finish from Mohamed Salah. That's his 21st goal of the season. I believe he's got 13 assists as well. So yeah, his uh, goal assist ratio is amazing so far, and hopefully, he gets the Golden Boot and a Playmaker award later this season. But no, fantastic form from Mohamed Salah. Can't really complain too much. So for his rating, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Gakpo for me had a decent game. He was very prominent in the first half. Probably most likely creative spark in the team. Definitely attacked that left flank on numerous occasions. There was one moment where he cut in, had a shot, was close to scoring himself. So I thought he had a decent game. Wasn't heavily involved in the second half, which is probably why he was substituted. But nonetheless, a positive start to the game. So for his rating, uh, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think he was outstanding, but he definitely made his presence felt. And Luis Diaz, I feel like he had a bit of a slow first half. I don't think he performed well. He was giving the ball away quite a few times, but then something clicked, and he started playing with more aggression. He was not getting bullied by anyone, so he's more aggressive in terms of holding the ball up, you know, using his physique as to the best of his ability, making sure he wasn't getting pushed out of the way. Um, Laid the ball off on the right times, applied through balls to produce counter attacks. So for me, I had a better second half. Definitely improved as the game went on. So for his rating, I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. So that is my player rating now in terms of the man of the match. You can already see who's got the highest tally there, and that is Mohamed Salah. So Mohamed Salah is my man of the match. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now, in terms of the substitutes that came on, let's bring them onto the screen and see um, how or what I think the ratings are for those players. So Jones replaced McAllister very early on due to his temperament there, unfortunately. So you got Curtis Jones, and then you've also got Nunes coming on for Gakpo. Nunes, and then you've got Bradley replacing Trent, who unfortunately picked up an injury. And then you've got the final sub, which was Endo for Mohamed Salah. So Endo's not playing right wing, so I've placed them in their correct positions. So we have Sabozla shifting to the right. Endo's actually playing a bit more of free role. And then you've got Luis Diaz on the left, Darwin through the middle. And that completes the lineup there. So let's start with Jones. Jones came on to replace McAllister, and I felt like he did add a bit of calmness and composure in that midfield. Kept the ball ticking, kept everything neat and tidy. Nothing, outstanding or nothing that was eye-catching, but kept the ball moving for us, allowed us to keep possession of the ball. So in terms of his rating, I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. Um, and in regards to Nunes, he did a decent job. Wasn't heavily involved in the team, but there were a couple of months where I feel like his hold-up play was good. I remember there was an occasion where he was on the left wing and had to get past two players. Did it with quickness and showed good feet there. So for me, decent cameo off the bench. So for his rating, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. And then you've got Conor Bradley who came on. I don't feel like he, I don't feel like he did much. To be fair, um, just came in, probably settled the back line. To be fair, he did get. No, it wasn't a great game. I'm just remembering a couple of moments. I feel like he got outpaced quite a number of times on that side of the pitch. I think Trent probably did a better job to avoid any attacks coming through. So, not the best of um, cameos, in my opinion. That's not me having an agenda on Bradley. I just feel like when he comes on in certain games, when he's prominent, you see his impact. But when he's quite average, you can see the drop in levels between Trent and Bradley. So for me in this game, I'll give him a 5. I think that might sound a bit harsh, but I think it'll be a 5 out of 10 for me. And Endo came on, playing a bit more further. I only played about 10 minutes, but despite that, made some crunching tackles. And I think that he was the perfect player to bring on at that time. It's a critique that I've given over the last few weeks with Armstrong, where I don't feel like he's used Endo enough and he hasn't brought him on at the right time, where we need an extra body in midfield, a player that is going to block any attacks coming through, especially in those final 10 minutes, because that is where, unfortunately, we have conceded a lot of goals over the course of this season. So for me, it was good to see that Endo playing in that role. We didn't need a creative spark. We didn't need a traditional number 10 in that moment. So it was good to see Endo come on and be the first one to apply the press on the opposition, make sure they don't get through um, our midfield. And yeah, I think he did a solid job. So for me, he gets a 6 out of 10 for his short cameo there as well. So not 4, it's a 6. There we go. So that is my player ratings for today. And that's also the end of the show. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, in terms of upcoming content, a lot of shows coming your way, guys. So this week, tomorrow's the transfer deadline day, so it finishes at 11 p.m. So I'm deciding if I'm going to do a show tomorrow or not. But in terms of other shows that I would certainly be doing, on Tuesday I'll be doing a Match Week 24 review of all the games in the Premier League, and then on Wednesday we'll have a match preview of Liverpool's Carabao Cup semi-final, a second leg tie, which is between Liverpool and Spurs. So that will be on Wednesday, and I'll be joined by a special guest. So make sure to look out for that one. And then on Thursday, I'll be doing a live watch along of that fixture, plus a match reaction on the day. And then on Friday, we'll be doing a match preview of our FA Cup tie as we face Plymouth Argyle. So a lot of shows coming this way, so please make sure you hit that notification bell so you know what time I go live. And you can also follow me for all the latest updates on social media. You can follow me at Ozzie.ftp on Instagram, and you can also follow me at Ozzie underscore FTP on X/Twitter. So that is it for this evening, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.